Hello, hello. Welcome, Replay Flam. What is up? My name is Tatiana. I'm a business coach and a mentor, and I am the CEO of the Inspire Blueprint. Very excited. This is day 3. I've been going live sharing all about some of just the lessons I've learned and just things I've been reflecting on in the launch of the new Inspire Blueprint membership, as well as sharing some information about the membership with you all too. I've been going live the last couple of days just talking about some of my reflection that I've been having, just being a business owner, and especially when I'm in launch mode, I'm always just kind of in my mind a little bit and just thinking about things. And so I thought I would unpack some of those thoughts with you this week. The first day I talked all about really realizing that running a business is a long game, okay? Like it's never typically something that happens overnight for most of us. That's definitely not always the case. There are some lucky ducks out there, that get a chance to have it happen, but a lot of times it's a long game, and it definitely takes a lot of patience and a lot of bouncing back. As well as the next day I talked about, which was yesterday, I talked all about really just realizing also that we are worthy of what we're doing. Our worth is not our work. And sometimes it can be very easy to get mixed up and caught up in that feeling like, oh, if I'm not getting this many numbers, this many subscribers, this many people purchasing, that it must mean this about me. And so just really like disassociating those two things from one another is what we talked about yesterday. And so today I'm excited to talk to you all about why it is important to have accountability and support in your business. This is something that I'm going to tell a bit of a story about of just when I first got started and kind of share. And then at the end, I will definitely plug the membership because I've been working so hard on it and pouring my heart into it. And I'm just really excited about it. We've officially kicked things off next week, so this is definitely a chance for you all to learn about it. And if you're interested in possibly joining the membership, you'll be able to join us for the welcome party happening on Tuesday. So first things first, hey, what's up? Oh my gosh, I miss seeing you on my timeline. Yes, things are a little different over here, but yes, I'm still here, still hanging out. We just had under a different business name now, but yeah, so pretty much I've shared that I started my business back in 2016. The first thing that I really got into with my business, if I'm honest, for the stationery business anyway, we'll say, that was with stationery. I had planner inserts and all of these fun things, right? But the thing that I didn't really realize is in the beginning when I started my stationery business, I put it off for a year. And I'm the kind of person where I feel like, and this is definitely something that I have to work on. God needs to work on this with me, but it's just part of my personality. It's gotten better over the years, especially in terms of my business. Is a lot of times I will approach things and I'm like, I can figure it out on my own. Is anybody else like that? Like, raise your hand, put a heart, something if you feel like you are the person that's just like, I can figure it out on my own, right? You don't really need anyone to tell you necessarily what to do or how to do it. You may watch a couple things for free online, but for the most part, you like, I got this, okay? And so that was definitely me with my stationery business. But before I had started my stationery business, I had a photography business. And I did that for a number of years before we ended up moving. And the photography business, from the beginning, I invested in that business from the beginning. Like, I signed up for a course. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this course called Thriving Photographer with Leah Remillet. I signed up for that. This was back in, I guess, that probably would have been 2014 or early 2015. I started doing newborn photography. I ended up getting into families and all of these different things. Then I really was shifting to women because, women, that was what I was getting ready to start doing. And then we moved, right? But the point that I'm trying to make is I instantly invested in that business. I also ended up getting a coach that kind of helped me with some of the things. I was self-taught in photography and learning Photoshop and all that stuff. But I just needed some help, with some of just like the logistics of running photography business, getting things back to people and all those things. I had never done any of that. It's like, I just like taking pictures for fun. And so she really helped me to just get clear and answer some of the questions and things that I was wondering instead of me just trying to continue to waste time, make mistakes, and all of that. And so after that, we moved. And it was a little bit before our move that I had decided to start my stationery business. It was actually about a year before we moved. And I never invested in anything. I don't know what it was. I guess I just was kind of like, oh, I got this. I'm good. I see some people are raising hands and saying, yes, that was me. And that was how I was for probably the first maybe 2 years of my stationery business, maybe even a little bit more. I didn't look at anything, y'all. Like, I think I might have just kind of looked at other pages of people running businesses, and I would just kind of see, like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing and different things. But I didn't invest in any courses. I didn't ask for help. I really didn't watch a ton of trainings or anything. I pretty much just kind of self did everything the first couple of years of my business. I think at the most, the only help I did get was I did go to, they had like these little business meetings in Charlotte where you could go if you were interested in registering a business. I think I went to like one of those just to see like what I needed to do to get my business registered for North Carolina. But that was it. And so it's just so funny to look back on myself then, because now I'm quick to invest in help. Of course, I'm quick to ask someone something, because I really have learned the value in having support and accountability when you are getting started in your business. It saves you so many different things. And so I wanted to talk about some of those with you all today and why it's so important to me, because eventually I did finally realize, I'm like, okay, there's only so much that I know within myself. I've never done this before. I've never been here before. And so I really want to utilize the people that are around that are willing to be helpful for me. And so that was when I started probably, and I always have to think back, I'm like, I think my first course that I invested in was probably around 2020, I think, was the first course I invested in. And it was all about learning email building. And y'all know I'm super passionate about email list building. And it literally took my email list from, not even playing, took my email list from, I think I had maybe about 100 people or so on there, maybe not even that much, to now my email list is over 5,000. And all of those principles are the same things that I've learned in the beginning of that and actually continuing to practice it. But I would have never known how to grow an email list if I just simply would have been like, oh, I'll just figure it out, you know? And so I'm saying all of this to just give you examples of how I realized at that point when I invested in that course, and that was a really big investment to me at the time. It was like a couple of hundreds of dollars. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this was a success, like this worked. And so from there, I started investing in other courses, and a lot of those courses came with communities. And so I would get in those communities and I would see that there were people in there sharing their stories, talking about what they were doing for their different business ventures and how things were going. And I started to see that a lot of the thoughts and things that I had about what I was trying to do was very closely in line with a lot of the other entrepreneurs in these groups. And so again, I was kind of like, okay, like what have I been doing all this time? Like, why did I never think to, like get in cahoots with people, and like learn from others, and even just like talk about my issues and problems going, even down to like my silhouette and my Cricut machines. These machines were like a big part of my business, and just like seeing the other people were struggling too, I'm like, am I just like having some issues? Like, is it me? And so just different things that I've just seen, that having community and support has just been so helpful for me over the years. Hello. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, Narissa. And so with that, I've learned some things. So now, like I said, I'm a lot quicker to invest, ask questions, and go find the answer versus trying to figure it out on my own. I promise y'all that this is not even me saying this to be like, so you need to sign up for membership. Of course, the membership is here for you, but it's really me telling you that no matter who it is or what it is, you need to invest in yourself. It's going to, you'll see what I'm saying. It's going to just save you so many different things so that you don't have to waste any more time. And so that's the first one, is it's going to save you a ton of time. When you invest in yourself, especially when you are seeking out accountability and support, one of the first things that I notice is the amount of time that it saved me. Even just down to simple questions, things that it might take me a couple of hours to figure out or research, I can ask somebody in a group that I'm in, and more often than not, somebody has done it or somebody knows someone that has done it. That's typically the case. And if you're in a group or something that there is like an expert in there, then of course they'll be able to help you. But the point is, the time saving, y'all, it is priceless to me, because hours and hours were wasted in the beginning because I was just so caught up on, okay, like, how do I do this thing? How do I figure out these machines? How do I create a subscription box? Like, I did all of these things and I'm figuring it out, and I'm just putting the pieces together, researching, trying to find the right apps. Luckily, God made it work out for me, but I could have saved so much more time, and I could have been a lot more successful earlier on had I just took the time out to ask someone for help. I've always been a person that's been very shy. And so I always feel bad asking people for help. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but I would always be like, well, they worked really hard to get there. And so I would feel really bad, like trying to ask them a question about something, like, I'll figure it out. And so that is another reason why I'm such an open book when people ask me things, and why I talk about so much on this channel, because I know there's probably someone else out there that feels that way, of just like, I'm nervous to ask someone. I don't even know how to approach someone to ask those things. But it's important information to know, and we don't have time to waste. We're moms, we work full-time jobs, we have busy lives, we have multiple businesses we're running and different things. And so we don't have time to now sit here for 5 hours and try to figure out what app is going to be the right app, or what website is going to work the best for me, or all of these things. It's too much. And so that is one of the big things I would say first and foremost, is that it's going to save you time. The second thing is it's going to give you some validation behind the different things that you are doing and feeling. I think this for me was one of the biggies, because I am a person where like my emotions can be up and down. I talked about this on a past live, where like our hormones sometimes can also affect how we feel when we're approaching different things, honestly. But what I've really seen is that I'm not alone. Like, I'm not the only one that deals with these feelings of like, today I feel like I'm a horrible entrepreneur. I can't do anything. No one cares about what I'm doing. I give up, to then like the following day, it's like, okay, we're about to grind this out. We're going to do this. We're going to show up. Like, it's just a constant roller coaster. And it's something that, again, I just felt like, okay, maybe I'm not cut out for this, was the thing I would tell myself in the beginning, especially when it would be like I would post something and no one would buy anything, or no one would click on what I was doing, or no one would follow my page. And all of those things I would tell myself, especially like I was talking about in yesterday's live, I would feel like I wasn't worthy enough to be doing it. And so what I really learned in those groups, just different, I was a group all over the place, in different groups with different types of entrepreneurs for different courses and things I had invested in. And I just continued to see that it was a pattern, that everyone had struggles. Everyone had periods where they needed to step away. Everyone had life going on, and sometimes they couldn't keep up with everything. And so it's just so many different things where you'll feel like, am I making a mistake? Is this the right choice? And so that validation, not to say you need it, like, you don't need any of these things. None of these things are required. But what the validation does is it really helps you to feel solidified sometimes in your choices and what you're doing. And so even down to like my accountability partner that I meet, well, we talk pretty much every day, but me and her, we have different launches and things we're doing. We have a lot of life things going on. And so it has been such a blessing through like a launch to be able to just simply say like, man, I put in all of this work, and I'm not feeling like I'm getting the return on these nights that I'm staying up, working on this. Or, I feel like, let me know, like, am I doing something wrong? And to be able to hear someone echo to you, like, no, like, these things are valid. I've been feeling this way too, but you have to remember X, Y, Z. And so the validation is so much more than just somebody saying like, oh, you can do it. Like, you can do it. It's not so much of that, but it's just having someone in your corner that is really there to root you on and just validate those feelings you have and let you know like you're not crazy, you're not it's not that you're not cut out for this. It's just simply, it's part of the ebbs and flows of entrepreneurship. But it's important to know that, even what I realized last year with my business, there's certain times when I have like peak times as far as income, and then there's other months where it's a little bit slower. And so when that was happening, it was like I was kind of like, oh my gosh, do I need to go back to work? Like, what's going on? Like, there's not really any sales happening. I feel like I've been more consistent than ever. What's going on? And my accountant, this is another person that's an accountant person that is, I can lean on for support. She was like, well, all businesses have ebbs and flows. And this was just a lesson I learned last summer, and she was like, this is something that happens. She's like, look for patterns in your business and realize what are the peak times. What are the times when people are maybe not purchasing? And it's going to be different for every market, right? Not, stationary. Now I do a lot of other things besides just stationary, but there's definitely a trend of times when people are like really interested in purchasing versus when they got other focuses and things that they're trying to do. And so that's even just, you get so much valuable information as well through that. And that actually leads me into my third point. I want to see what Krisha is saying. She said, oh my gosh, that's how I feel since I switched over to selling digital products. Love digital products. I'm not sure what I was talking about when you sent that, but Digital products are amazing, and I think that's a great passive way to be able to make some income. And what's nice about it is that you don't have to really do much. Once somebody purchases, you kind of do all the work in the beginning, and then people can just purchase. I'm such a big advocate of digital products, so congrats to you for that. That's amazing. But the third point it was getting me into, and let me take a sip, y'all, because I'm getting thirsty, is new, what does my handwriting say? New perspectives. New perspectives. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Anita. Thank you, guys. Hey, Takia. The last one is new perspectives. So sometimes we will be doing something one way, we'll view it one way, we have one perspective, right? Because it's our perspective, our businesses are our babies. So we're really tied to it. We're really pretty set on what we want to do. And especially like we were talking about in the beginning, if you that person's like, I got this, I'm gonna figure this out on my own, you feel like, okay, I don't really need nobody to tell me what to do or how to do things differently. But one of the biggest blessings for me is new perspective. It definitely can be a little bit of, like taking constructive criticism, but it's so valid to hear someone else's opinion, y'all. Like, it's so good because you are now seeing what actually someone that is not tied to it emotionally, they're coming in, they're looking at what you're doing, and they're able to just tell you straight up, like, okay, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't line up with what you say that you want the business to be doing, but it's kind of drawing other people in. This product is great, but I think this could be a little bit better just based off of what you told me. And so you have to figure, you're so tied to it. You do this thing every day. You work on it all of the time. But when you have someone that is coming in that is not necessarily as familiar with every single in and out, they're able to come to you almost like what a customer would be like, right? And they're able to look at it from a fresh perspective and tell you like, well, this may not be the best part of the experience, or maybe you could do this a little bit differently, or, you posted that, but I feel like it's a little bit off from what you're saying that you actually offer. So that is another big thing, is like having new perspective is so good. Like, I don't know what other word to really say. And this has happened in all of the different groups I've been in. Even if like if it's a course or something and they'll be like, oh, post in the group and share with us this thing. Like, I would share it and I would be like, oh, I worked on this for a couple days. Like, this is good. And then someone would just say something in the group like, okay, I really like where you're going with this. One thing I always used to hear all the time is like, it was super niche that I was doing like stationary business coaching and all that stuff at the time. And they would say that, and then they would be like, but I'm kind of confused on like what this means, or this feels a little broad. And so it's just nice to have people not coming from a place of judging because they're right in the same boat as you. They're trying to grow a business, but to just be able to help you work through those things and see it from a fresh perspective. It's just like, if you're typing up a paper, you read over it, and then you will still miss mistakes, right? We still will miss grammar mistakes, even though we've looked over this thing, but then somebody else comes in and they're like, oh, you forgot a period here, or this is spelled wrong. It's like, oh, I just looked at it, right? So it's the same thing. It's just having a new perspective of someone that is able to look at it from an unjudgmental point. They're not emotionally tied to it, but they're really able to help you to look at it and be like, oh, that actually doesn't make any sense, or, oh, this is doing a little bit too much. Let me kind of clear this up for people. Because that's the biggest thing, is you want your experience for your customers or your clients or whatever it is to be clear and for them to understand and for you to know how you're coming across to people. But there's no way to do that if you don't have someone giving you that new perspective. So those are the three things we talked about. Having accountability and support is definitely going to save you time and money. Honestly, I didn't really touch on money too much, but definitely time and money. It's going to validate your ideas and your feelings. So, if you have a new thing you want to launch, but you're kind of like, I don't know if that's kind of weird, but people like it. And then people validating that or telling you like, oh, maybe try this. And then 3, the new perspectives of just being able to talk to people that are not emotionally tied to what you're doing and be able to really help you see where some of the gaps are in what you're doing. It's really, really valuable. So that is the 3 things I wanted to touch on. I also wanted to refer you guys to also, if you listen to the Inspire Blueprint podcast, which is hopefully coming back late summer, we'll see, hoping. There is an episode, I think it's episode 9, and it is all about having a lack of support and finding an accountability partner. In that podcast episode, I give you a ton of tips. First of all, I give you like a lot of reasons of why this is important, but then there's some tips on how you can actually find accountability partners, where to seek things out and all of that. Now, when I recorded that at the time, I didn't have the membership. But all of those things are literally what I did to find accountability over the years in my business. And, it doesn't have to be anything super formal like investing in a course. It doesn't have to be getting a coach. Some of those things can get a little pricey. It doesn't even have to be a membership, but I just encourage you to find a way to get accountability and support with like-minded people. It's one thing to talk to like your significant other or your parent or a friend, but if they're not really involved in the same world as you, or if they don't understand social media, for example, to them it might seem kind of trivial. Like I was talking to my husband the other day about the new verification thing that's happening on Instagram. And he's not an entrepreneur. He uses social media all the time, but he's just like, a normal user, right? Just like a typical person that uses it. And so I was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out like, would it make sense for me to do it for this and all this stuff? And he's just sitting there kind of like, and it's like, he listens and stuff, but it's like, he doesn't understand that I'm like, this is my business. Like it's actually a huge choice to make, or, trying to decide different things and just kind of waiting it out to see what happens. And this is just one of the many things, And so I love to talk to him about things, or even my mom. I talk to her all the time, friends and things, but they just don't give me the same perspective that I need. They don't give me the validation that I need. They're not saving me time or anything either. They're just simply giving their opinions based off of where they are in their life, or they'll just kind of build me up like, oh, you'll figure it out, and I'm like, no, like, I really want to know what you think. And so then I was able to have a really good conversation with my accountability partner about it. And we went back and forth and we're like, well, if this happens, and then maybe we could do this. And so it's a different thing. It doesn't mean that like the people in your life don't matter and they're never supporting you, but it just means that their support looks different. It's more so like rooting you on, maybe purchasing something, maybe sharing a link for you. But when it comes to like the ins and outs of business, this is just really where I highly suggest finding someone that can be accountable with you, that can support you on a level that you need, that is more of like a deeper level, outside of just like the just basic things. And that is really where you will see just the true gift of what it is to have that in your life and when you're growing your business. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. The only other things I was going to say is just some of the benefits, of course, of having this as well. Is just that there's some collaboration behind that too. So, if you're growing your business, I've collaborated with people over the years just by simply reaching out. And so a lot of things can open up for you. You can get introduced to their audiences, right? You can then be opened up to new things, and new people will come into your business or sign up for your mailing list. And so that happens, just from just the natural connection. And then also, let me see what else I have. Just support as you launch. So, if this person is behind you, then they will want to share about what you're doing and promote it, from a point of like they've been seeing how hard you've been working and they know all of the time and energy you are really putting into it. I think sometimes people that are from the outside looking in, they don't really get how much work we do as entrepreneurs. They don't understand it. And so it's not, it's a different appreciation when it's somebody that kind of gets you and they're like, oh, let me support my girl. Like, she's been working hard. I know she's been killing it out here. Like, let me go ahead and share. That's definitely helpful as well. And I have a word here, wall, written, but I don't know what I was saying there. So that is going to be the ones that we have. So, yeah. So hopefully if anyone has any questions, definitely drop them in. I wanted to share a little bit about the membership before I go. Hello. Hey, Rodnitska. Hi, Hammock Creates. Alicia asks, how did you meet your accountability partner? Yes. I share a bit about that within that podcast episode too, but just to be really quick. So we actually both invested in a like a hybrid coaching program. So, like a group coaching program, but it came with a course as well. So we both invested in that, and it was probably maybe a little over a year into it. I had just kind of been getting to know her on the group calls that we were having, and you know how sometimes you just like, there's someone and you just are kind of like, oh, that like seems like a really cool person. I would like to get to know them one day, or, something like that. Or maybe they say something that just really resonates with you. That was kind of the vibe I got from her. And so I reached out and I basically told her, I'm like, I feel like I'm at a point where I really would like to have someone that I can be accountable with for my business and growing. That's not like in a bigger group, but, kind of like in a closer setting. And so she completely was like on the same page as well. And so we started our meetings, and it's definitely grown into a friendship, a sisterhood at this point. And I'm so grateful for her. She's definitely one of the biggest blessings that I've had in my business, especially within this last year or so. And so I think that it's definitely, again, it's just something for you to, have in the top of your head, have it in your list. Same with like mentors. It's the same kind of situation, seeking out someone that can really just kind of help you, and really just be able to guide you along within this thing that you're trying to grow. And it can be frustrating. There's so many times of wanting to give up and just not understanding why things aren't happening the way you want them to. And then there's times of like extreme like growth and success, and it's kind of like, okay, how do I handle all of this? And so the support is good for both sides of that. So I wanted to share a little bit about the membership with you all, and let's see how this will work today on IG. If anyone else has any questions, please let me know or drop them in the comments. And I'm going to just pop this up on the screen. Let's see if it's, oh, perfect. Yesterday it was kind of blurry, so today it's working. So true, and I love your connection with your accountability partner. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been amazing. Sometimes when you pursue those things, you don't always know how it's going to be. So it definitely was a great thing. So first off, the Inspire Blueprint membership, it's an online membership that was created for female entrepreneurs that are specifically wanting to grow the businesses that they desire. This membership is not catered to one type of business or the other. It's for both service as well as product based. And I'm able to support you in both because I've done a variety of both in my lifetime of being an entrepreneur. So I'm able to kind of help from both perspectives. And right now, I actually currently run two of those types of businesses right now. So that is a little bit about that. We actually have a monthly theme that we do every quarter. And so this quarter, the theme is Bold Beyond Belief. Everything is kicking off next week. We actually start off with a welcome party on Tuesday, and then we get right into all of our trainings and stuff that we have scheduled. But Bold Beyond Belief is all about just really hitting the ground running, realizing that your message, the things that you want to talk about, the plans that you have, to be bold in them. And so we're going to be talking all about how to really, what that looks like, how to make it happen. There's an acronym for BOLD that's inside the membership, and the members within there are just going to be fueled with tons of like bold themed content and stuff for the next couple of months, to just help them stay motivated as they are kind of trying to just carry out all of the different things that they're trying to do this year and beyond, because we need to be bold, right? So the first thing that's covered in here, and I talked about this a bit more in depth yesterday, but is the Success Blueprint course. This is an exclusive course just in the membership. You can't find it anywhere else. And it is a course that is going to help you time and time again to just get back to how to get focused on what you need to do, how to get there, really defining what success looks like for you. It's called the Success Blueprint course. And every 2 weeks, a new part unlocks for the members. And that way it's just bite-sized, already a lot of life going on. And so not to overwhelm, but to just slowly give you some things to focus on and think about, and really start to implement things over time, to just be successful in your business. This is definitely, again, it's not catered to any type of specific business. So it really works for everyone, even in all different levels. And then you also get the Impactful Biz Starter Kit, which is just a digital pack of just different business resources and things that I've designed and created for them. Just kind of like a fun extra that's placed in there for everybody. So the next thing we have is we also have some trainings and things that take place every month. So once a month, there will always be a personal development or a business training. We do 2 business trainings per quarter and 1 personal development training per month. Personal development is very important as an entrepreneur. I think our mindset is just as important as our skills and, learning how to, sell and do funnels and all those different things. We need to be right too. So that's what the trainings cover, and all the replays will always be saved. And then on top of that, we have 2 additional calls every month. The first one is our co-working and accountability call. That one is really nice because it's just a chance to come together and talk about what we're going to be planning to work on for the upcoming month. And then there's going to be a way to actually be held accountable for things so people can kind of check in, see how you're doing and all of that. I'm, of course, going to be on the calls to answer questions. And then we also have the planning and strategy call as well. And that one is going to take place after the trainings. So that way we can kind of unpack the content from the trainings together answer any questions, and really figure out how we can start implementing the things in our business and execute it. Because I've been a part of a lot of memberships before and courses and different things. And one of the things that I have felt like was missing sometimes is after I, like I process something, I watch something, I complete a task, it would be really, really nice to then be able to get on and like kind of in a way like just mastermind with people, talk through some things and be like, okay, this was really good, but what does that look like for me and my business? Or this is really good, what are some of the steps that I should take right now in this season of life? And so that's what those planning and strategy calls are going to be about. It's just trying to now apply the trainings to your actual situation. So really me being able to be a coach for you and help you, as well as all the other ladies that are on, to be able to just lend our support and suggestions, so that we can be set up for success. So 3 calls per month, and I think definitely more will come as the membership continues to grow. But that's kind of what we're going to be getting started with in the beginning. And then, of course, I feel like the most important part of it all is really just going to be the community aspect. Of course, it's a growing community. Right now, we have a little over, I believe, 24 people that are in there, and it'll definitely continue to grow over time. But it's just a chance for you to come and be around the like-minded women that we talked about today in the training, and all of the benefits and things will be inside of that. I want this to be so much more than just like somebody throwing a resource or a tool at you and being like, okay, grow your business, figure it out. Like I want this to really be a sisterhood in a way, to come and feel comfortable sharing like, okay, I'm struggling with this, or I need help with this, or this is not making sense, because that is really what it's about. It's about really having a community that is there, and that's going to hold you accountable for the goals. It's like if you're saying, oh, I'm going to start this business in 2023, or oh, I'm going to make this amount of money, or whatever it is, have some accountability behind that. Let's back that up with some things. And so it'll be really cool. And then so much more. We have a book club that's going to be starting soon, most likely in Q3. That'll be happening. I have discounts and stuff off of the Inspire Blueprint shop items in there for people. We're also going to be doing some challenges as well. So challenges basically just looking like we might have like a week out of a quarter where everyone is going to kind of be like pushed to kind of like do something together to hit a goal or whatever it may be. I have so many challenge ideas. So those things will be coming over time, and they're not necessarily scheduled. They'll just kind of happen, when I think like, oh, this will be fun for us to do it together. So that's a little bit about the membership. So you can kind of see what all is included on this little graphic here that I'll share with you. And so that just kind of wraps up everything in a nutshell. Every quarter you get the 2 business trainings and then the 1 personal development training. And I didn't even mention as well, we always will have a guest expert every quarter. I didn't even mention that. So this particular quarter, my accountant, Brittany Suttle, she's going to be our guest expert in May. She's going to be talking all about, she's calling it the money basics. So things from getting your bank account together, figuring out how to register your business, what to register your business as, separating your finances, just kind of things for beginning taxes and all of that stuff. She really got me right, y'all, when I finally did it, because I knew, like, for me, finances is one of my weaknesses just in general. It's not something that I'm like super well versed in. And so I knew, I'm like, as soon as I start making enough money in my business, the first person that I'm outsourcing things to is an accountant. And she has been helping me for the last like 2.5 years now. And it's been great. So I'm so excited for her to come on and talk. But we have guests for every quarter. So that's just going to be the beginning. And that will be a chance for us to have some outside people come in and just to continue to really grow this thing and really make it valuable. So it's not just going to always be me teaching. I want some other people to come in as well. Okay, Alicia has a question. What days will the trainings be on for the most part? I know it may vary. Good question. So yes, the trainings are going to be taking place. Typically, I'm trying to stick with Thursdays. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. When I'm teaching them, it'll probably always be on a Thursday, but if it's going to be a guest, I kind of give them a couple of days to choose from, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday typically. And then as far as the time, it'll pretty much be either in the evening or it'll be kind of like around this time of day, maybe a little bit later, like early afternoon, is the time. So that's pretty much when it'll be. The planning and strategy sessions as of right now are always going to be on Saturday mornings. And it's hard when you have all these time zones. So I'm really trying to make it, work. And then the accountability and co-working calls, those are going to rotate every month. with the time and the day and stuff so that more people can get on and have an opportunity to get on live, because I understand, people work, people have things going on, they travel and all of that. So that's definitely going to be one that will rotate. And then the welcome party actually is going to be this Tuesday. So things like that will happen kind of on random days. But those trainings, my hope is that most of them will be on Thursdays. Time may vary. Hello, everybody that's getting on. We're just kind of covering the Inspire Blueprint membership. Just talking about all of the benefits and the amazing things about it. And earlier on, I was just sharing what the importance is of having accountability and support within your business, even if it's not this membership, but just how important it has been for me as I've grown over the years. And so that is pretty much it. Right now, you guys are able to join. The links for the membership are pretty much everywhere at this point. They're in the bio. They're down in the description of this live. And so I would love for you to check it out. There is a monthly option available too. So if you're not kind of like, I don't know about doing it for a whole year, but if you want to come check it out, join us. This is definitely a great month to do so. We're going to be doing some cool things in there. We have the training this month is actually called Bold Plans. I had to think of like Bold Plans. And I'm going to be talking all about this actually the next Thursday, talking all about how to not only just say like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing, but actually figuring out how to make it work with your 9 to 5 and all of the other things you have going on, or if you're in a busy season of life. I'm going to be sharing with the ladies of just how right now I'm currently in a very hectic season and how I'm able to still make things happen, and keep the wheels turning even still. And so they're going to be leaving with an actual dates on the calendar and a plan of how they can move forward into Q2, feeling confident and ready to make some plans for themselves and not feeling so caught up in like, oh my gosh, I have this job, like I have no idea, what I'm going to do. So we're really going to be talking about a lot of those things on that call. And then we have the welcome party, like I mentioned. And what else is happening this month? Of course, we have the accountability and co-working call, as well as the planning and strategy session. And then just fun. Like, it's going to be new. Everybody's in there. It's the first month for everyone. So just getting to know each other. I feel like this first group is really just going to be such a good, solid, like founding group. And so it's definitely a cool time to get in. Alicia said, oh, and thank you, Jaleesa. Alicia said, okay, cool. Will we find out the schedule at the beginning of each month? So actually the whole quarter will be populated for you. So it's already in there. So if you join, you'll see all of the members. You actually get an email from me pretty much right after you sign up with all of the relevant links. One of the things being our calendar. I have this calendar that you can subscribe to. It's really nice, actually. So you get on there, you hit subscribe, and then it will add it to your platform that you are on. So like if you use Gmail or Outlook, or what are some of the other ones? I can't think of any other ones right now, y'all. But there's a ton, like Apple's calendar. And you can add it to that, so then that way you can see them coming up. All of the dates and times and everything are already in there for the entire quarter. And then the plan is about 2 weeks before the new quarter starts, you'll have the next quarter's worth of dates. So there really won't be any last minute things unless it's just like something that's really like, oh my gosh, like we need to talk. But typically you will know the full quarter and have all of those dates. So I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. But this was really fun to get on here for these last couple of days and share with you all. The membership is open, and it will be open until next Friday. So you have up until next Friday to join, and then the doors will be closing for a bit, and then it'll probably open up again once we're getting a little bit closer to Q3. So definitely get in while you can. Come join us. Have a good time. I've shared this before. I think the value will definitely come if you're able to stay for an entire quarter. I know people, kind of dip in and out of memberships, which I get, but the entire quarter is really where you'll get like the full picture of what like the Bold Beyond Belief really is, and just really feel supported and get all those resources and things you need. That will also give you the time to get through the entire Success Blueprint course as well. So that's definitely something to think about if you're considering joining. Alicia said, okay, perfect. I'm happy that it's for all entrepreneurs. I'm looking forward to connecting with like-minded women. Yes, that was one of the things I really wanted to do, because a lot of my one-on-one coaching is specifically for like women that want to do like planners and journals and stationery businesses. And so this is definitely not that. Like, this is not for people that are just trying to do stationery and those types of things. This is for people that have all different types of businesses. And I think that that's what's going to make it even better, because we're going to have all kinds of experts from different areas coming in and being able to share things. I was actually on a call with a woman that's going to be working with me this week. And she has a really cool business, you guys. It's actually, I'm going to actually plug her. So her name is Ebony Polk, and she has this business. It's like so you know how they do like the testing and stuff, for like when you need to start a job, basically like medical testing and everything. So she has done that, but it's for like the trucking industry, I believe she was telling me. And so she's grown it to like, I think she said it's like 600 companies or something. And then she also has like a virtual mailbox business she started, and that's like over 400 people. And I'm just like, you are like killing it, right? So it's like, that's completely different from what I do, but I was just so inspired by what she was saying about her business. And so like, I'm hoping to get just as much from this community as everybody else, because there's so many just cool people out here doing some really, really cool things. And it's a chance for us all to just be in one place together. So thank you so much for getting on and joining me today. You can definitely go back and check out all of the past lives if you missed them. The link to the membership is posted everywhere, but it's basically TatianaMuse.com/membership. If you want to find it, learn a little bit more about it. Like I said, doors will be closing next Friday. It's not tomorrow, but the following Friday. And yeah, I would love to see you inside. Have a wonderful weekend. I won't be live again for a little bit, so I'll see you all soon. Bye.